This is an overview of the syllabus for the Spring 2019 section of Political Science 110, Introduction to Political Science, which will be taught online by Canvas. Right there on the first page, you can see our course numbers, our section info, as well as my primary means of contact, and that's going to be through the Canvas email system. You could also email me at my Delaware County Community College email. It's amaalous@dcc.edu. However, the Canvas email and my Delaware County Community College email are linked together. So if you email me from Canvas, I will get it at my DCCC email address. So primary means of communication, Canvas email, and each email I get, I respond to within 24 to 48 hours. So you also have some of the learning outcomes of this course. Again, this is a 100 level bread and butter course. Some of you are coming into this course with a little bit of understanding of political science, some with very little. So again, it is a 100 level course. Here's what we expect: that you'll have a good understanding of the philosophical foundation of political science. That's the various isms, if you will: communism, socialism, democratic socialism, capitalism. State and define, next objective, state and define the essential fields and corresponding concepts of the discipline of political science. So we're going to look at some of the different subfields. Comparative analysis of government structures and power relationships. Sure, part of understanding political science is making comparisons. In fact, I don't know how an instructor can teach political science without making comparisons. So there's going to be a lot of that in this online course. Understanding the relationship between government and its citizens. That's something else we'll be doing, particularly with a focus on individual freedoms like civil liberties and obligations, and by that we mean government obligations to prevent discrimination and ensure equality. And in that sense, we're talking about civil rights. We'll also look at primary economies and global institutions and how they affect and impact public policy. Now, the second page contains the required course materials, and the only thing that the student is responsible for is the textbook, and that's the Understanding the Political World, a Comparative Introduction to Political Science textbook by James Danziger, the 12th edition from 2016. Now, there is a 13th edition out there which contains more updated material. The college is only requiring the 12th edition, so you should be able to find that. And if you find it online, you should be able to find it pretty inexpensive because of the existence of the 13th. There also is an 11th edition out there, which is an older edition. You can use the older edition or the newer edition and still do well in this course. My recommendation as your instructor, however, is to stick with the 12th edition because various test or quiz questions, various material that I'm going to use is going to correspond to the 12th edition textbook. There will be some other readings and videos and articles that I post to our Canvas page, but you won't be responsible for the expense of those. I will take care of that. So have the textbook, and I really want to stress, whichever textbook you use, that you have the textbook. You should expect to read, maybe even make notes in your textbook. If you are coming into this course and not planning on using the textbook, at this point, I would recommend you drop the course because we do use the textbook several times throughout the week. At the bottom of page 2, you can see the breakdown of the grade. You will have a series of chapter tests, multiple choice and true-false style questions, each one corresponding with the chapters in the textbook, and then 300 points of chapter activities. Each week, you'll have maybe a 10 or 20 point exercise that corresponds to the material of the week. And these chapter activities might be short essays, maybe a PowerPoint presentation, a diagram, a discussion forum, but those will be weekly activities just as the chapter tests will be weekly. So most of the work here is done on a weekly basis. The other thing is you'll have some longer in length essays, and that's the last 200 points that makes up your 800-point grade. You can track your grades by checking the Grades tab in the Canvas gradebook. Page 3 details the class format. This is an online course. All of the work will be found online in Canvas, and all of your work will be submitted online in Canvas, not by paper copy, not by emailing the instructor, through the Canvas submission tabs. Each timeline unit, and the course is broken up into timeline units. Each timeline unit begins and ends on a Monday at midnight. So unless otherwise noted, the work that you find, say in the first timeline, begins on a Monday at 12 a.m. and finishes on a Monday at 12 a.m. So complete the work within the corresponding timeline. That is Eastern time zone, okay? So I know some of you are international, some of you are taking this course from far, far away from Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Just keep that in mind, Eastern time. In the event that your computer crashes, I'm expecting you as students learning online in the distance learning environment to have a backup plan, whether that means coming to campus, using a borrowed computer, using a friend's computer, using a computer with internet at the public library, whichever option you choose, you should have some sort of backup plan. There's not going to be much room for makeup opportunities. They will be given, however, under extraordinary circumstances and at the instructor's discretion. I do understand that life does sometimes happen, but only the most extraordinary of circumstances, only under the most extraordinary circumstances will a makeup opportunity be given. So, if the window for submitting work passes and you miss it, that's it. There's not going to be an opportunity to recover those points. So, very important, keep on ball, keep on pace with this online course. In a face-to-face environment, you'd be coming to class 3 hours a week, and so you should expect to work those 3 hours into your online course, as well as any additional hours spent on homework and assigned activities. Towards the bottom of page 3, you'll find a small set of tips for online etiquette, sometimes called netiquette, although I think that term's now fallen out of favor. But this is really important, especially for emails to your instructor and other students, as well as posting in the discussion forum. We will be talking about political topics, and probably there's going to be different opinions and disagreement, and that's fine as long as we are civil in communicating our ideas. There probably should be no problem. But I would say a good way to avoid any problems would be to try not to resort to addressing a person, but maybe addressing the ideas that person put forward. And I want to stress, sort of towards the middle of that bullet point list, avoid sarcasm, especially if you think it might be misunderstood. One thing that's absent from online communication is tone. So if you think what you're writing might be misunderstood, consider revising it. Check your Canvas email on a daily basis. As your instructor, I will communicate with you primarily through Canvas. If you're not checking your Canvas email, you are missing out. So please make it a point to check your Canvas email daily, or if not daily, every other day. Some standard policies from the college you can find on page 4. If you don't do any work in this course by the 3rd week, you will receive a no-show grade. Next section, plagiarism and academic dishonesty. This is a very serious issue and one in which I don't have a lot of latitude to give. Your quoted material should not exceed 30%, and this is really important for those written assignments. I will use a software known as Turnitin. It's a software that checks for possible plagiarism. If you don't know what plagiarism is, there is a video that I've included in your first module. I suggest you familiarize yourself with that video, familiarize yourself with what plagiarism is. Again, my short definition, it's submitting written work without properly citing the sources. In some cases, it's just a brazen cut and paste of material that you or the author, the supposed author, did not write. So there's no tolerance for that. Those assignments will fail, really no questions asked. The Turnitin software is going to assist the instructor in checking for plagiarism. Don't plagiarize. If you're unsure, you're welcome to email me. You're welcome to use Turnitin as well to check your own work. The reason I have the 30% quota is to make sure that the work that you're submitting is actually your work. If a student submits a paper that's basically 80% quoted material, how much original work did the student do? How can an instructor even grade such work? So if you are quoting materials, one, be sure that you cite them, but two, be sure that it does not exceed 30% of the content of your paper. Finally, and I have this in highlight, if you are using the Safari browser, when submitting your work, switch to another browser such as Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Otherwise, and this has happened in the past, nothing will be uploaded and the student will miss the deadline. Canvas works well with the Apple Macintosh style computers with the Safari browser. Turnitin does not, so you may have to use another browser, particularly for submitting the work. Additionally, I'm going to suggest you check your student handbook for the college policies on plagiarism. As we move on page 4, we also have the college policies on complying with the Americans with Disabilities Act. The college does provide accommodations for students that require them. You can register with the Office of Disability Services here on campus, and there's some contact info in this section. It is important that you provide those accommodation letters on day 1 or at least week 1 of this online course. On page 5, you'll find some more college information about our campus library, officially known as the Learning Commons, tutoring services, as well as Delaware County Community College's commitment to diversity. That goes along with what I said earlier about discussions. Be civil, be respectful, communicate your ideas with respect and maturity, and we will have a great online learning experience. If, of course, you are unsure, please refer to your student handbook. And on the topic of religious diversity, if a deadline that I have posted conflicts with a religious holiday or the student's observance of a religious holiday, please do let me know and I will make the proper accommodations. Page 5 finishes with a rough outline of each week in the semester and what we are going to cover. And as you can see, it's a pretty linear format. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, etc. And that also continues on to page 6. Now within each module, you'll find a more detailed list of reading assignments, activities, chapter objectives, and videos. But that's the syllabus overview. I am going to stick to the syllabus. It is the outline for this course, although depending on unforeseen events around the college, I may change that, and if I need to do that, and hopefully not, but if I need to change the order of something, you will be notified by me through Canvas email. If you have any questions on the syllabus, you are welcome to email me, and there also will be a forum posted in the corresponding module, the first module to the syllabus. But until then, that's a wrap for the syllabus, and I look forward to seeing you and I'm doing that in air quotations, seeing you, reading your posts, and hearing from you in this online class. Let's have a great semester.